What's up, banana bunch? Bunch? Bunch?
Welcome to the Jungle Jims podcast. What's up, Banana Bunch? You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Jungle Jims podcast. I'm your host, Mark. Welcome to the show. Fun things are coming up. I'm cooking up a nice little Super Bowl episode for you right now. I'm pretty excited about that, actually. I get to coordinate with a bunch of different departments. I think you'll all be happy about that. And we have some insane deals coming into the store. I wish I could tease those for you, but I can't yet. But you're going to be stacked that week. So make sure that you are planning to prep for the Super Bowl the week of that here at Jungle Jims, because I'm telling you, there's like one or two deals in there in particular that are so mind-blowing. I think you're going to ask how we could do that. And the answer is, I don't know. Someone's losing money and it might be us. But hey, it pays off for you all, right? So thanks for coming in to shop us. This should be good. Did find a couple things here. Our boy Lou, the deal king, you know, like I said last week, if you got a guy, he's my guy. But he brought in, for example, this week, we've got a lot of deals, but one of the ones that I know everyone's been really excited about here is we got these fudge iced brownies in, and they're at a crazy rate. There's like a huge box of them for like $3.99 to get, I think, 4 comically large brownies, right? And then you can get an even bigger box. I want to say they were only like $15, and it's like, you know, it's like the box that you bring when you want to impress your coworkers, but you like don't really want to spend any money on them. I like a cheap treat too. So come in and check those out. Hey, this week's going to be fun because I brought in, look, I'm going through all of my backlog of content because what we like to do is we like to shoot a bunch of stuff, and then we're just going through editing it all as we're creating all kinds of other things. So, you know, while I mentioned this, make sure you follow us over at TikTok at Jungle Jims Official. If you don't like that, I've been asking you all to subscribe to us on YouTube because Lucky and I have been putting out all kinds of great little shorts. There's a great series we're doing right now where we are trying every single edible item in the store. It's like 200,000 plus items we've been going through slowly but surely. It's doing really well. We're getting a lot of great feedback on it, so I'd love for you to see those. And then, of course, you can tell us what kind of things you want us to try. Okay, so backlog of content. Yes, I'm going through all this stuff, and look, my buddy Rome has been on the back burner for a while. I cracked up because we did a really long interview, and it's just going to take me forever to edit it. And he's been texting me throughout the winter, like, are you going to bury this like the Little John Christmas album? And then I said, no, because the Little John Christmas album exists. But shortly before that, my friend Sandra came in, and she'd hit me up, and she was like, hey, you know, I was over in Switzerland. She met this guy over in Switzerland. She's like, what if we came on and talked about Swiss food? So I was like, okay, that's going to be the meat and potatoes of this week's episode. We got to dive in. Sandra's awesome. We met through it. You don't care yet, but we'll tell the story in the actual interview. But she's awesome. We had such a good time doing this, and it's a silly bit. So that's one of our first segments here. And then I also wanted to bring up, I'm re-airing the free throws for kids segment from last week. We did a whole piece last week with Liquid Death, which needs to be postponed now. Don't worry, no one's in trouble. We all got permission, but they were like, hey, we changed a few things. Can we wait on this? So you'll see the Liquid Death thing again in the future. And if you saw it last time, no, you didn't. So we'll have free throws for kids coming up later. So anyway, I want you to meet my friends. Let's talk Swiss food, shall we?
Don't say anything about the aliens anymore.
What's that?
Yeah, what?
I'm going to edit it out either way. I'm like, I just want to laugh with you.
Okay.
All right, well, let's go around the room here and let's introduce ourselves. Welcome to the show. Oh, sorry, I didn't even have you pull your mic close to you. Off to a good start.
Sorry.
Lead us in, Sandra. Who are you? Why are you here?
Hi, my name is Sandra, and I am a friend of Mark's. And
are you sure you want to admit to that on camera?
You're right, that could come back to bite me.
I know.
Yeah, I am a Cincinnati local. I'm very familiar with Jungle Jims, and my partner is from Switzerland. I visited him this past summer and last winter. We saw some I tried some very interesting food there that Jungle Jims also sells, and so I thought it would be a great opportunity to come onto the show and talk about those.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for making that connection happen. All right, same question. Who are you? Why are you here?
Yeah, my name's Amir I don't have as much of a radio voice as you guys do, so
we don't need that. We believe in you regardless.
Okay. My greatest achievement being Sandra's partner, obviously. And
Are you sure you want to admit that?
yeah. No, just like Swiss politics, like just
Aggressive.
cozy up to everybody already. Yeah, beautiful shirt by the way today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was crew deck season for all of us. Oh, you're repping Cincinnati, San Diego of the Midwest.
Yes.
That is hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I was joking with you all before we started doing this, and I was like, one of my favorite things, and I've said this to the audience before, is anytime anyone comes prepared with notes, you have a lot of notes. But more importantly, I feel like I really just need to turn this over to you all, and I'll just interject as I need to, because this is guests. If you're watching this right now, the new bar is set. This is amazing. I'm like, I'll be back when the show's done. Okay. So no, from the top. I mean, where do you want to start in Switzerland? I know very little about it. So, I mean, this is for me an opportunity. It's always an opportunity for me to learn.
Yeah. I mean, it is a pretty diverse country.
Mm-hmm.
It is multilingual. Like, it has 4 official languages, like French, German, and something called Rätoromänsch, which is only like spoken in some like remote villages.
Okay, that sounded like a made-up name.
Yeah, and Italian, and and Italian,
I've not heard of that one.
Yeah. And like we know of like Swiss cheese, but like people are not aware like how ingrained that is in like culture there. Like every town basically has their own like type of cheese, and like most of it doesn't even come to the US, and it's like really like to like regular Swiss person, it's really funny when people talk about like Swiss cheese here.
Yeah.
Because it's like this ultra processed like amalgamation of God knows. Like, yeah.
It's like most American processed food, right?
I don't want to shit on it.
No, and that's okay.
Can I say shit?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Say it a third time just so I get it passed. Thank you.
No, but
you can I mean, if you'd like to. I think the audience is on board. Look, one of the things I think that's a recurring theme here as we discover how frequently the quality of food internationally is usually taken care of. I mean, there's a lot of things that we get here that a lot of other countries just outright won't sell. They're like, that's kind of bad for you. Like, you're like, brominated vegetable oil? No, you should not have 20 plus ounces of that a day.
Yeah.
So I just want you to feel free.
Yeah. I just want to say, like, there's a lot of like Americans shitting on themselves for like, or like Cincinnati self-hate for like conies and stuff. And but it's really not necessary. Like, I love American food.
Cool.
It has its, it has.
Yeah, that's its place. Somewhere around 2 in the morning, it seems like it does its best work.
Yeah.
I'm so taken by the idea that everybody's making all these different types of Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
Actually, I find like that's one of those things. I should have expected it, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, what a fun little note and surprise. Like, and when you mention like the version here, okay, so for example, let me cut on that because I've got the knife.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm gonna lead into the what's it called that we have there?
Gruyere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, I apparently chipped my knife.
Oh, I have the same one. That's that Kia standard.
Oh, this is some Cuisinart element.
Oh, okay.
I stole it from the cooking store when I first started, and I never gave it back.
Yeah.
I'll put this out here, so I will entrust you all with knives. Okay.
I should not be trusted
She
with
should
knives.
not cut.
Oh, really? You're pretty bad at that? Okay, well, if we need a professional cutter, I'm happy.
Okay,
that sounds bad.
you do that. Yeah.
That's getting me canceled later, too. Great. All right, let's jump back in. No, so we were talking about the different cheese notes. So when you describe the Swiss to me, I mean, I think all of us watching this have had an American-style Swiss cheese. You kind of know what to expect. It's kind of spongy and soft. It's like most deli cheeses.
Doesn't taste really like anything.
It's sort of like
creaminess to stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes, and when if you get the kind that melts, I always feel like I want to love Swiss cheese, and then every time I get it, I'm like, all right, I guess like Jarlsberg sort of counts, but Gruyere, Gruyere's had a good couple of years. In the PR game, I feel like, thanks to like Food Network and that kind of stuff, where I felt like that was a cheese no one knew about. I felt
best
special.
cheese of 2022.
Did it really win that?
I think so.
That's amazing.
I don't know like how they decide on that.
That would be. It's just a bunch of people like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
You try the Gruyere? Like, I did. I think that's the best cheese.
Slaps.
Yeah.
I want to know how many new cheeses come out in a year.
Dude, that's not a thing, really.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of thinking. I think we just have like 8 of them, and then they just add flavors. Like this one has raspberry. You're like, all right.
They do like promotional stuff. I can't wait for that for them to like start like doing cross promotions like Dorito cheese. They probably like already exists. Like,
I wouldn't surprise you. I saw some picture the other day. It was Doritos themed bath bombs.
Oh hell yeah!
And they were like, "Oh, it's Cool Ranch, but it's blue raspberry sensitive."
Yeah.
Like, no. If you're gonna make something cursed like that, I think you need to commit all the way and go full disgusting. Like, yeah, I'll bathe in Dorito dust, but it can't be blue raspberry flavor. Or start making blue raspberry Doritos, and then maybe I will just hate myself for suggesting it, because now it's going to exist. Anyway, I'm so sorry to derail.
Oh, good. What I want to say is like Gruyere, obviously we know the name, right?
Right.
But it's a place. Like this thing came from there. Like some probably monk in like the couple hundred years ago came up with the idea for it. I don't know. It's all made up. Like you guys can check Wikipedia by yourself. Right. But like,
I posted the link in the notes, so they're like, all right, we're following along.
Yeah, like fact checking the U.S. No, but this thing was in the news recently because I guess Switzerland, like the Cheese Federation of Switzerland, some entity like that, lost a lawsuit in where was it? In Virginia.
It took place in Virginia. Yep.
Yeah. They wanted to like trademark the name Gruyere because they're like, oh, it's a place in Switzerland, you know, like we love this. We made this for years, and obviously there's like a profit motive behind it.
Of course.
But they lost because the Americans decided like our Wisconsin farmers want to sell Gruyere, or like keep selling Gruyere.
Yeah.
So it started this whole like, I don't know, like it was a huge thing in Switzerland. Like, it was in the papers. Like here, people probably didn't care.
I mean, I think it was hitting news here because I remember reading about this when this all
Yeah.
happened and being like, I don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you know, it's like every international thing. I'm like, I host a podcast. Do not ask me for foreign policy.
I don't know enough about cheese.
But
to
it's like a
comment on
whole
this.
thing about like
My cheese state solution.
it's like a whole thing about like Swissness, you know.
That sounds awesome.
People.
Sorry, random coffee vendors are here right now. They were teasing me with product. Here, come back. Okay. Sorry.
I'll just.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a whole thing about like Swissness. Like recently, like the past 10 years, they introduced some sort of guardrails to like what is considered Swiss. So it is really interesting. Like Swiss cheese. That has like the Swiss, you know,
actual like emblem on it,
like the
from
emblem.
the Cheese Federation.
Yeah, no, like the country's flag is like their, you know, it has to have 100% of Swiss milk in it. So it's really hard for them to like produce it here because like you're not gonna.
We're not shipping milk overseas. Can you imagine what that cost sounds like?
Yeah, that's why it's like so expensive here, but it does taste different. And like I remember you saying when you came back here, like I miss that's like. Swiss milk.
Swiss milk hits different.
It does hit different.
What would you say you noted in the Swiss milk difference, Sandra?
Man, I don't know if I can describe it in words.
Okay.
But I felt like I was just frolicking through the meadows in the Alps every time I drank it.
I love that so much. That is something you can taste.
Yes.
No, I mean that genuinely. I know we're laughing now, but I'm like, I kind of do understand.
Yes.
Well, and going back to the thing and like the regulations in the way food is handled here versus the way it is overseas, there is that little thing that I'm like, oh, what have we put in the cows that have made?
Yeah.
And then there's the whole thing too, where I feel like there's a lot less dairy being imbibed in the States these days anyway, since we've all gone to like nut milks and soy milk and that kind of stuff. Oat milk seems like it's having a good year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Quaker family is just like, I just like to imagine there's a lot of secret food rivalries, like the oats and the dairy industry were at odds for hundreds of years, and then oat milk got popular. Yeah, stupid. I barely have too much free time at night.
Love you for that.
I'm so sorry.
There's like some, no, it's okay. But there's like, for example, if you take chocolate, like, what is chocolate made from?
Right. Milk, cocoa beans.
Like, do cocoa beans grow in Switzerland?
Oh, no. They're mostly grown by child laberers in Africa.
Yes, exactly.
Chocolate's like one of those things I think we're not supposed to have anymore.
It is the biggest thing of like cultural appropriation like, ever. Like, it's like synonymous with like Swiss culture, but like, you know.
Which-
And they have like special cases for that, like, oh, only like the dairy needs to be for Switzerland, and like
Sure.
some part of the production.
Well, for chocolate, it's 80% of the ingredients
Yeah.
have to be from Switzerland for it to be considered
Considered Swiss.
Swiss as
Yeah.
imported from Switzerland.
That's actually really kind of a cool note too.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was doing I did a chocolate episode in like my first year here, and I learned a lot of interesting things. And I don't remember the specific details, but I do remember that Switzerland was one of the countries that had a pretty high limit, or like a barrier to entry as far as what percentage needed to be cocoa as well, where like the United States is the lowest. I'm pretty sure we're at 10% of it has to be
Yeah.
cocoa. That's why it all tastes like vomit wax now.
And I think that's like I definitely notice a difference when I like have Lindt, which is like a Swiss
Yeah.
chocolate here, and like in Switzerland, it completely different taste.
And they just
Yeah.
sold to some company in the States too, which I'm like, oh great, so those aren't going to be good in a year or two.
Yeah.
You know, you have like those last year or two where they're like, yeah, we'll try that recipe.
I got a whole tangent on like
Hit me.
Hershey's.
Oh my gosh, we've had a lot
How
of.
is that a product? Like,
Do you really? I tell the story every so
Yeah.
often on the show, but it's a real thing. So the whole deal was like, you know, in the way back when, chocolate was for the rich mostly,
Yeah.
right? And so in like I think it was the early 40s, because he made it happen during World War II. But he invented, they call it the Hershey process. And so the reason a lot of American chocolates taste, I made the joke about vomit wax, but they really do taste like, it's called
Yeah.
butyric acid. So they put it in there because in the 40s, you couldn't keep chocolate shelf stable. But Milton Hershey was like the first dude to do it. And the way he did it was by effectively spoiling the milk enough to increase longevity without making it harmful to eat. But that's why American chocolates often have that vomit note to them, is because it has this.
They do taste like vomit.
Yeah, it's the butyric acid is like the flavor component of
Yeah.
vomit. I was like, what a gross story, but it's really true. And then
Yeah.
when you try any European chocolate, they don't. Like
Yeah.
pretty much if you get chocolate from anywhere else in the world, they're like, no, we don't need this too. And it's like it's one of those like funny American, you know, where like America's such a silly country for being so young. They're really rooted in their, you know how we did this 200 years ago. I'm like, yeah, it was dumb, dude. Like
Yeah.
technology, move on, dude. Look at the rest of the world, you know. And so it's one of those. I'm like, I don't think Hershey's needs to taste like.
Yeah. They could change if they wanted to.
People I think would
probably.
revolt
Like,
in a weird way, you know. It's
Yeah.
like you see them, they like refigure Coke Zero every couple of years, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people angry
Yeah.
on the internet about that. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing at this point people are just like, no, we screwed up by letting customers have access
Damn,
to
dude.
reaching out to us on social, so maybe we just pump the brakes, you know. It used to be hard. You'd call a
Yeah.
number, you'd have to go through a bunch of menus, and then eventually someone would apologize and mail you a coupon. Now it's like, can you imagine working for a big brand that changed a recipe, getting those
dude.
DMs?
Nah.
Be awful. But anyway, this is why Swiss chocolate's so much better. 100% no vomit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I didn't know about the vomit. That explains a lot. But another like popular brand that's like known around the world is like Toblerone. Mm-hmm. It got bought up by like Mondelez or like Kraft like way back.
Of course.
You know,
Yeah.
capitalism. Like,
about.
but
Two companies own
I mean,
everything.
to be fair, it brought out Toblerone to the world. Like,
Sure.
Yeah, you know. But something happened. We talked about like the Swissness constraints. So Toblerone's moving their production from like Bern, Switzerland to I think the Czech Republic.
Oh, interesting.
And they lost their little Swiss moniker through that.
Of course.
And can't show the Matterhorn, that little.
Oh, yeah.
that little,
The mountain region
mountain.
in
Yeah.
the logo,
Yeah.
they can't show
That's
show
amazing.
that
So,
anymore.
yeah.
For all the listeners.
Now it's just a
that,
generic mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all the listeners that are like regular on Reddit, they know that the mountain has a bear on it. So mind blown. yeah.
It's like one of the most famous mountains ever, too,
yeah.
which is like funny. Like when
Yeah.
when you think of a mountain, that's the one you're picturing right now.
Yeah. And in return, like a Swiss company started to make a Swisserone. It looked like Toblerone, but just a little bit rounded.
Sure.
And they got sued the shit out of them for trying to, you know, do the thing. But you can still buy them. I think they got through with it. Yeah.
I am kind of glad to hear that it sounds like at least if I'm getting it in the source location, the quality is going to be better, or I'll have a reasonable facsimile that I can enjoy too. So that's kind of good news. Because I'm always afraid when I see these international companies getting bought by like Nestle or whoever, I'm like,
Yeah.
But the reality is that they're mostly just ruining it for America. It seems like that's the case, you know?
Yeah.
I am worried about the lint thing, too, because, like, I mean, those are, even on the American side, I think they're pretty good here. But here, I forget who bought them, but it is another big, mega corporation. I'm like, oh, come on. They're not going to keep put. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I love being wrong more than anything.
But like, they didn't buy them to, like, keep the chocolate good. It's
no, they were like,
we want to improve the process.
Right. It's Disney. It's Disney and all the properties they own. They're like, yeah. We respect whatever property we just bought from you. Here's the plan. We need to get the money back right now. And how's the fastest way to do it? Pull the cocoa, pull the writers, depending on what the product is. It's crazy. I was curious. I feel like you have to try the 2 Gruyères back to back.
Yeah. And
I know
I'm thinking.
And what's that?
It could also be a good blind taste test to try these.
I think that would be fun as well. Yeah. So it was the Munns brand you knew,
yeah, that's
right?
the one that I recognize.
And then the other one, what's it called again? It was that if you want to hold the camera there, golden, that one over there.
Just like
Golden Alps.
Golden Alps. It kind of looks a little more, I would say it looks a little more Americanized in its branding and packaging.
Yeah. It's very like trying to, evoke.
Let's do it. Break into it. Let's try some stuff for us.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then I feel like after we do these, I want to go through I know you've got the paprika chips. I see those. I've been thinking about those for months since we first talked about doing this segment. I'm like, let's go.
Did I tell you about like reaching out to Jungle Gyms and the company?
Yes, you had. Because I think that was like the first thing. And I was like, oh yeah. And also, that's a great story. So wait, tell us what you did. And then I can tell the audience to make sure they keep doing that kind of stuff too, because we love that.
Oh yeah. So okay, so there's this brand of potato chips in Switzerland called Zweifel. I became obsessed with it when I visited.
Yeah.
I literally smuggled 8 large bags of it in my carry-on suitcase and backpack and was stopped by TSA.
Oh, she's in here, guys.
They almost confiscated it from me and I almost started a fight. It's very good. So they are.
That's amazing.
So they are paprika chips, and they're very simple. They're made with alpine salt, rapeseed oil, and paprika seasoning. And I think that's it for like the original flavor. They're amazing. We also brought the kettle chip version of it for you to try.
Okay, I'm in.
And a chicken flavored.
It was just seasonal.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm on board. Well, I just thought it was so cool that you were like reaching out to us. I mean, one of the things that I try to impress on people when they come out is that we are still independently owned. We are still, the family still runs the business and they're here every day. And we are definitely the types of people who love hearing about that stuff because, you can imagine we only can know so much, and we're usually working in the store, so a lot of us are not traveling international as frequently as we maybe should be. So hearing from customers like yourself and all of you out there watching, when you have a product that you really want to get in, but there's that it's just on our junglejims.com. There's like a contact form, but that's like I see the emails all the time, so I know it goes to all the right people too. But it goes to everybody, so it's fun, and I'm hoping it'll be one of those things that by the next time you're here, it is.
I hope so. I like scoured the internet for this to see if it was sold anywhere in the U.S. and it's not. So then I reached out to the Jungle Gyms like contact form. I did hear back from somebody who said unfortunately there's no distributor in the U.S. for Zweifel. So then I reached out to Zweifel themselves and was like, please sell to Jungle Gyms, please.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well,
I'm sure, hey, who knows? Maybe we can get lucky and I don't know how any of this stuff works. So I'm just kind of talking out of my mouth, I guess. But I'm like, what'd be cool is if there's some company that we work with that also works with them. I'm like, just pad the next shipment kind of.
Yeah.
If there's an investor on the
there's an investor listening.
Yeah.
Oh shit! There's an investor on there right now. I'm like, here's my Venmo.
Right.
But no, that'd be awesome.
Mr. Buffett, please.
And most people think you mean Jimmy Buffett right now. That's the best part. All right, sorry. Back to the original taste test. Are you okay on time too?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I've been kind of slightly eyeing. We'll knock out our taste test and then we can tease.
It's not going well. Okay. All right. We're going to have the resident Swiss here taste test.
You have to watch.
You're not allowed to look. You're not allowed to look. Okay. I'm going to open both of them.
Okay. Hopefully it doesn't recognize the shit.
I mean, one of them has hazelnut in it.
Okay, but they both...
The other one is praline filled. It's got to be...
Yeah, you're right.
So we'll know. That's fine. Well, here, how about instead of the blind taste test, how about it's more about... just try this and you can tell us like, hey, is this a good option or should we stick to the Muns?
Would you like to try?
I would love to try it.
What's it?
You think I've said no to much chocolate?
What does it have? White spots.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. That's
No, we'll find out tomorrow.
Maybe it's the vomit wax. It's richer than most American chocolates.
It is.
Yeah.
But also it's kind of, it's like the default European chocolate.
I can see that.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's definitely good.
You say it tastes European though.
Yeah, it does taste European.
Okay.
I believe that it's imported.
I believe that it's important.
Yeah. I believe Jim when he says that. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So that did taste good.
It's good. Yeah.
All right, so here's the Muns.
And so this is this is officially more than the real deal.
So
Cheers.
I love these types of chocolates. They're also sold by like the biggest retailers, like in their name brands, and they're really cheap and they're like praline filling. Usually they're kind of like something like Giandorf, like probably Gianduia is like a hazelnut in Italian or something. It's really good.
Cool. I'm curious to try this.
This is what I grew up with.
Smoother.
So smooth.
This has pralines in it.
I got that note coming in now.
Yeah.
I love that.
It reminded
That's
me
good.
when I was young, there used to be, and they might still be a thing, but I felt like they were way more common. But we had like the Swiss hotel chain,
Okay.
and they always had imported Swiss chocolates and like the little,
yeah.
instead of like a bullshit mint bowl or something, it'd be
Yeah.
like that. And this hit, and like instantly, I just had like that nostalgia. Yeah, and like I'm gonna assume that they were completely Swiss sanctioned because the flag was on every part of the logo. The design, I mean, it was a very clearly European run, at least, you know, it's like the 90s. So back when brands still really cared about that appearance. But I remember the chocolate tasting exactly like this. So now I'm sitting here going like, oh, and they would be like branded to the hotel. They had a couple other flavors too, but like,
Even with the Swiss airline, if you fly Swiss, they hand out like little chocolates to every.
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, why not?
But it's like the whole country is just one marketing machine. It feels like, you know,
Well-
at every point you like a touch point with Switzerland. You're like, oh, this is a really cool design. Oh, this seems like this tastes fine. You know, it's like I'm still amazed. Like who takes care of that? Like somebody like.
There's gotta be a board of people who are just
Yeah.
like, this is our job.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're
Yeah.
gonna stay here. Like the what should I call it? The like a story coordinator, I feel like is a thing now I see as a job where they're like, all right, your job is to know everything about us and to make sure that anything anyone says is on, you know what I mean? Like almost like doing a PR.
But it starts the minute you get to like Zurich.
yeah.
Like there's from the international like when you from the international concourse to get to like the main airport, there's like a subway, and like on that subway they play like yodeling music and like
Amazing.
Heidi tells you a story, and I'm like,
I'm in.
Who like
Right.
the minute you're there, you're like, okay, I'm in Switzerland.
Yeah, you're like, I'm definitely. That's kind of cool, though. I mean, and now I'm thinking, like, what would you do in the American version? Like, hey there, I got a barbecue grill out front.
I would love that.
I kind of want to audition for the part.
Pass out little conies.
You know, before I had you dive into the cheese, I did want to ask this question. Is there something that you think would be like a culture shock moment as an American coming over to Switzerland for the first time?
We have an American here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Culture shock. Ooh.
Yeah, it's like something you were like, huh, that's different.
You can be brutally honest.
Food wise or anything?
Just anything, yeah. I mean, you could say food-wise if there's something that sticks out.
Yeah, well, okay. Their public transportation is excellent.
Oh, yeah.
That's something I'm not used to. What else? The food is very like Bavarian, German in style.
Okay.
A lot of
At least in the park where
bratwurst
I
and
live.
schnitzel.
Yeah.
What's a culture shock? Going into the grocery store and seeing like just like the largest section of it being just cheese, and it's so big.
Cheese and chocolate.
And the chocolate spans like 3 aisles. I was just like, wow, that's
Yeah, every like chocolate section, like the smallest Swiss grocery stores, like the chocolate section at like Jungle Gyms.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah, you get the experience here if you.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
definitely. Also, culture shock. I didn't know how different Swiss German was from German.
Oh,
and
interesting.
I know some German. I learned it in school, And so when I came there, I was like, I'm ready. Like, I'm going to converse with the locals. And then everyone started talking, and I was like, what is going on?
Is it like just like a dialect thing, or is it like actual the words as well, or some different?
It's a dialect, but it's a different enough accent and pronunciation of words, and some words here and there that are just totally different. That it's like I can't understand it at all.
Wow, that's cool though.
The worst part is like every town has its own dialect.
Every town.
basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like-
I feel like that's a European thing in general
Yeah.
too, where you're like, oh, that's a little different here than it was 12 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know, that's cool though.
I have an app that like can pinpoint to which town you're from. And, like,
Oh, no
depending
kidding.
on, like how you pronounce it. Like
I love that.
Yeah, and I actually was kind of surprised. Like people ask all the time, like, what does it sound like? What does it sound like? It's and I was surprised when I saw a documentary about like Amish people here, because they say they speak like Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah.
But it sounds a lot like Swiss.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I checked, and like a lot of like the Amish communities stem from like Swiss backgrounds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought to look into it, and I just
Yeah.
always assumed, again, with my very almost no knowledge of Dutch, I'm like,
Yeah.
it sounds like
I mean, it could be a mix of it.
I'm
you
sure.
know,
I'm
like-
sure that's probably
or-
what it ultimately
yeah,
comes down to. But
yeah.
like, that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh man! So now I got to drag you on our next Amish produce adventure.
Yes, I keep saying to that I want to go to like an Amish farm and like try to converse with them and like see if I
We went to a
Yeah.
produce auction. It just they just ended for the season, but next time you're back, we should do this in the spring, and we should go to one of the Amish produce auctions.
Hell yeah.
It is a wild experience,
Yeah.
and it would be fun to see if you could speak to them.
yeah if I can get a better price.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because like I know whenever they
Yeah.
walked away and they'd be like saying something not in English, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm interested for this.
Yeah.
It seems polite, but I'm not sure. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Have an
Yeah.
inside guy.
Yeah.
All right, here's what we got to do. Let's bust into. I know
All
we're a
right.
little tight on time today. Let's bust into
gonna
the.
let you
Let's bust into the traditional Gruyere first. All right, I get to do the honors. I'm excited
Okay, I'm
about
gonna
this.
look away now.
Well, no,
Look away.
you'll definitely tell because I can't shave the slices.
Oh, true.
But I feel like you can just be honest with me on your thoughts. I know you won't be like, oh, well, it's actually.
It's
if
actually
it-
so good.
yeah. It's like you're allowed to like the American
Yeah.
version too.
But also, yeah, Swiss neutrality goes a long way. Don't forget. Like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, the only thing you're not neutral about is
Yeah.
cheese.
I want to
would-
be able to get back into the country.
Oh gosh, Well, listen, they're here to remove your citizenship over
yeah.
your cheese views. I'll cut some out. I'm sorry, I didn't realize this package would be the most difficult package of cheese I've ever opened in my life.
Oh hell yeah!
Let's go, guys.
Yeah. Hell yeah!
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That smells like the real deal.
It's got that little bit of funk in the scent that American cheese does not seem to have.
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's like creamy. The texture's great. A little of that nuttiness I come to or I desire.
And I mean, this is like still, like this is factory produced. You know, like
Right.
this is a big chain, or like big brand in Switzerland. But like you can get this stuff. You know,
It tastes. It's
Yeah.
funny that you mentioned that because it's like the packaging. It's kind of got the shape and texture a little of like of the mass production, but the taste does not.
It's so good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It does not taste the way I would expect something that was mass
This-
produced to taste.
And like we call it Hernley, but it's like
Mac and cheese.
the Swiss mac and cheese.
Okay.
Like if you just
Amazing.
want a bit, flavor, and it doesn't have to be Cheeto flavored.
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always
Yeah,
funny to me
yeah,
too. I'm glad you said it that way too.
Yeah.
I made that comment to somebody once. I was like, "It's just Cheeto dust, right?" And they were
Yeah.
like, "Don't say that." Okay. Well, don't add butter and milk to Cheeto dust ever. I hate to tell you what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Did you know that there's now a word in the dictionary for Cheeto dust? It's Cheetle.
Cheetle?
Cheetle
Yes.
is the word for Cheeto dust, especially when it's left behind on your fingers
Are
after
you
eating it.
serious? I'm glad there is a name for it.
It was added to the dictionary.
I had a product called Trongs that I would use every so often, and they were like these plastic fingertip things, and you could use them for. I don't think they were initially. They were designed for like wings, so you could grab saucy wings and eat them, and they were kind of great for it. But the unexpected practice was like, oh, I haven't had Cheeto dust on my fingers in like close to a decade now.
You're robbing
You know.
yourself of that ultimate
Yeah,
pleasure.
that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but like, heaven forbid somebody see me do it. Now I have to do most of my eating in front of an audience. You know what I mean? So it's a little weird now. I'm like, are they gonna be weird? And I'm like, it's Fairfield. They'll be okay with me losing my fingers. All right, what are you expecting from the Boar's Head American produced version of Gruyere?
I guess I guess it can be. I mean, they have years of like.
But here's the thing.
Different.
We
meal,
also don't know, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm eating this and I'm like, I swear I've eaten Gruyere a lot of my life, right? But now I'm trying this and thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's going to taste as good. And I like the boar's head stuff.
Yeah, it's a thick cut though that you have right now. Like it does.
Yeah, that
change
is a good texture. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Should we show that on camera?
What's that?
Should we show it on camera so people know?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
This is the good shit.
They fix. Yeah. So those of you folks, I'll probably get an insert shot on the closed package too. But you know where you can find this? Right in the Switzerland section of the cheese shop at Jungle Jim's, baby. There's a sign and everything. It is really, really good. All right.
Okay.
Come on, you guys got to go into that.
Okay. Right. Just give me a slice.
Just the whole thing.
Just the whole slice.
Just go in. Yes, we'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm like, that way maybe you fold it in half so you get a little extra texture.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm going to try and like fold a half and half and half again. All right, hold on. I think you know what? If you fold it in half twice, it's the same thickness.
It is.
Perfect.
Okay. Smell-wise, a little less, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I would go more than a little less, actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this definitely has the cheese funk on it. Not an intense cheese funk, but like it was cheese.
Yeah.
This does not. It's much more mild. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to wait till you both eat, and then I'm going to put mine in.
Sorry, I'm still chewing the Gruyere. You don't have to wait on me. Just. All right. Yeah. Much milder.
I have a feeling your thoughts will be more intense than mine, but I feel like the way we described the smell as being less intense, the flavor is similar, but in the same way. It's like if you turn the saturation down to like 70%.
Yeah.
It's like if you made a LaCroix version of that Gruyere we just tried.
Yeah.
Damn, LaCroix Gruyere, though.
Yeah,
Tell me
dude.
you wouldn't drink that.
Yeah, watch
A little
out.
sparkling cheese.
Boar's head agents are on the way right
Yeah,
now.
right.
Yeah. No, but like,
It is good, I think.
It's good,
It's
yeah.
better than, and I've eaten it before and I've enjoyed it.
so this
Down.
is sliced from a block, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, because I was gonna say like, it's like it's slices. It might be different, but like this, no.
It's a big block, right?
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, it should be better. Like,
Yeah.
because it also has like this texture at the end where it's like a bit dusty.
Yeah, it's
I don't
dusty
know.
and like a little
Yeah.
dry. It's
Yeah.
almost like it was almost like when you eat closer to the rind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, it's a little more of that texture. And I wouldn't fault Boar's Head for this. Their audience
No.
is predominantly American, so I would imagine when
It's
it comes to
good-
cheeses, the Americans I feel like a little less funk overall. You know.
It's a good starter cheese.
Exactly. And this would be a good way in. And I would still eat this over their Swiss cheese.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Like if you've never tried Gruyere and you want something that's not as sharp or
Yeah.
strong, this is a good cheese to start with.
Yeah.
I think this. I would like to see this in like a mac and cheese type dish. To see how like if it still gives the taste.
Does it melt
Or
right
grilled
too?
cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really good. Dang, I think I'm going to make a Gruyere mac. That sounds really good. I'm glad it passed the test mostly though.
Yeah.
I was curious, and then once I tried the really good here from it's Le Gruyere. Once I tried this is also, I don't know if the Boar's Head one is aged, so that might be part of this too. I noticed this says here aged 5+ months. The raw milk thing, that's huge. I get it. Well, all right. What am I trying Zweifel wise? Am I trying the kettle cooked?
You're trying all of them.
Oh, I'll try them all. Great. And we'll run through.
Yeah.
Sandra, maybe this is a good time for you to tease your next appearance here, because I know you're an American now, but realistically, that's not entirely detailed accurate. So tell me a little bit about your background and why I'm having you back.
Sure. So I am originally Bosnian, and
So am I.
Formerly.
Yeah. Formerly Bosnian. That's our band name. Yeah.
formerly Bosnian.
Yeah.
But honestly, I pre-ordered the album. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been an American citizen since 2002 when I received my citizenship, ceremony thing at Kings Island.
You posted about that recently, and I was like, "That's so funny."
was the
That's like the
coolest.
most Cincinnati thing. The only
Yeah.
one thing they could do more would be like, "Well, we took the Greek families to Skyline."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. But originally my family's from Bosnia, and we've been coming to Jungle Gyms for a long time to get Bosnian imports, also from other Balkan countries, Croatia,
Yeah.
Slovenia. So there is an aisle It is labeled Eastern Europe now.
Yep.
But I would love to come back and
We should eat through it.
Yeah.
I have a friend
show
from
you some more
Croatia
products.
too. I thought maybe that
Nice.
might be a fun ad on that
Yeah.
one too.
Yeah.
I'll let him run in there too. It'd be great. I would truly love to do
That
it.
would be awesome.
And Amir, by the way, every time you're back, you're welcome to come back and we can do
Oh, hell
other
yeah.
silly stuff if you
Yeah.
want. Come up with a list of facts that I will mostly ignore as I talk over you.
Oh no,
we
I
got through it.
I'm messing with you. I'm so sorry.
I when talking about aisles, I gotta say, like, I remember last year when I was here, there was a Swiss aisle.
Yes.
This Swiss aisle has disappeared since like the recent international.
Part of the expansion,
Yeah,
huh?
and
We were looking find the Swiss products
Yeah.
today, Amir.
We were looking for the Swiss products, and like there weren't that many. And then we're like, maybe close to Germany, nothing there. Okay, I'm like, wait a minute, it's in Scandinavia, isn't it? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Like the like even this, a lot of people confuse Switzerland with Sweden, and even the Swedish government recently made a video about it. Like, we are Sweden, this is Switzerland. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, and it was actually in the Scandinavian Isle. Even though not that many products, so Mr. Jim, hit me up. Yeah, you know. Like,
I don't know if
yeah.
you want that. They will call
Yeah.
you. For that. They'll be like, listen, we'll
Yeah.
put you to work for a little bit. Help
Yeah.
us buy some stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that'd be fun personally. That
Yeah.
maybe that's an episode we do together next
Yeah.
time is go,
Yeah.
all right, here's what we need to carry.
yeah.
You know?
Okay, so the
What
chips.
do you think?
Yeah.
Here's my, like, for the American palate, my first note is, oh, what if barbecue chips were good?
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's way less intense in, like, I say spice. I don't mean it like, in, you know, not
Yeah,
a
it's not
barbecue chip is
spicy.
spicy.
Yeah.
But it is a, hey guys, it is a much more mild seasoning. Yeah, it's a little sweeter too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Sweet,
like these a
savory.
lot.
Yeah. So the history behind them is.
Yeah, tell me about that.
It used
Here,
to be.
you need to have some savors. Come
Zweifel
on
used
now.
to be a.
Since you've
I
been
have a ton
importing
at
them.
home.
I know,
have a
but
ton.
Yeah.
We are running low on time. though.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
okay, here, give me the notes and
you
I'll
just start.
Let me
Yeah.
show
opening
you
these.
the kettle chips.
Yeah.
So this
And
is
then
the one I think are going to be the. I love a kettle chip anyway, and this
Yeah.
seasoning with the kettle chip is going to ruin my day
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
I know
I-
one day now I'm like, it's like I jumped into the timeline where I know how good these are, and
Yeah.
I'll forever be ruined for it.
You can have it. You can have
You
it.
can
Thank you.
keep them. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got plenty.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
We have like huge bags of it at home with a custom photo of the two of us on it.
Are you? That's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can go onto their website and order them with any photo you upload.
And they'll ship it to the U.S.
No.
I don't
they
know
ship
if
it.
they'll
Okay.
ship it to the
That's okay.
US.
No, that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, but you got a connection now.
We'll
you can
work on
smuggle
that.
it in.
Yeah.
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 I've always wanted to be on the bag
Yeah.
of chips.
I'll bring you Zweifel and I'll bring some Grippos home.
Deal.
Yeah.
Hey, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
He loves
Yeah.
Grippos.
Yeah.
Do you
I
really?
would-
That,
yeah.
yeah. They're great. They were one of those things I didn't think I'd love. I didn't try them until way later in my
Yeah.
Cincinnati journey.
This is
They
it.
slap, right?
Yeah.
Oh, like, yeah. If you need a travel friend with extra luggage, I think you just know who to
Yeah.
call next
Yeah.
time. I would love to smuggle chips into the
Yeah.
States.
No,
Oh
they
yeah, the kettle chips are absolutely
they
amazing.
started out
Yeah.
as an apple cider company and like I don't know the olden days, in,
Right.
like the 20th century, and they struggled around like I think World War II because like nobody bought apple cider at that point. It wasn't as cool anymore, and one of the sons of the owners went to the U.S. and saw like this thing called a potato chip.
Yeah.
And bought one of the machines and brought it back and started making Swiss potato
And
chips. It
we
is
That's amazing.
toured the factory.
yeah, we
this
toured a
summer.
factory.
Oh, was the
Yeah.
factory amazing? Was it like
Yeah.
still pretty old?
It's still
No,
no.
old
new.
building, new
It's-
tech.
It's no, they like really expanded. They have this like huge warehouse.
It's still family owned though.
It's still family owned though.
Yeah.
I understood nothing of the tour. It was all in Swiss German, but it looked cool.
yeah.
Hey, that's good enough.
Yeah.
You're
So-
nodding politely the
Yeah.
entire time.
Yes, the whole time.
That's how I imagine
Just
I'd
like
be.
just give me chips.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is there a taste test of this?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'll write it down.
There was a taste test.
Well, that's U.S. I've been trying to do a factory tour on the show since I started, but post COVID, I can't get in anywhere now.
Yeah.
Pretty much, they're like,
Yeah.
"Well, we'll show you our, the sales floor." I'm like, nobody cares.
They just don't want you
Even
to
the
see.
people that work for you don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nothing personal.
Yeah.
They don't want you to see.
No, I'm trying to do
Yeah.
for the holidays. I want to go see them make. We have like a fancy candy cane company that's based out of Cincinnati called Doshers, and they're still making like old school thick candy canes that are like hand twisting. And I've been, if anybody
Damn.
knows who to call there, tell me. But I've been like reaching out to them on social and everything. I was like, let me just come in. I'll do whatever you have to have me do. I'll wear masks. I'll buy a hazmat suit. I'm in. I just want to watch you hand do this and then tell everybody to come buy them because we sell them here, you know? So we'll say, anyway, I love this. I love that that's what you all are doing when you're traveling together too. It's amazing. I think, Sandra, look, I've known you a long time now, but not super duper well. But I feel like I now have like a deep emotional understanding of who you are, and I love it. So thank you so much for coming out. I'm sorry it was tight on time. I mean, anytime, you're always welcome back. Tell me everything of your people.
Yeah.
I appreciate you all.
Thank you so much for having us on here.
Anytime.
Awesome.
Let's do it. Yeah, we'll drive safe in the meantime. We'll get this set up. We'll do the Balkans. And I'm probably going to do a dumb, like, you got to be Balkan kidding me for the title of that episode. It'll be good.
Yeah, sounds great.
Hell yeah.
Too many holes in this one for the Swiss joke. Okay, I got it in there anyway. All right, and we're out. Thank you both for coming out. And I don't know if we talked about this in the interview itself so much, but what was really funny is they had a flight to catch like shortly after this. Every time we've tried to record this bit, like one time they got COVID. I mean, it was like, there's always been a disaster. This time it's like, hi, we need to leave probably shortly after this interview wraps just so we can get to the airport in time. So thank you for taking the time out to do that. I really appreciate that. Okay, as promised, here's our next segment. This is about free throws for kids, an upcoming charity event. They're looking for team captains before January 31st. Let's go. Check it out.
Cheers.
Let's start there, Mark. Mark, I'm breaking the rules. Another Mark in studio, that's not me. So by breaking the rules, instead I had to, since we were having a Liquid Death episode today, but I figured you had to be one of the first people to try the new flavor.
Absolutely.
So, and this is your first Liquid Death experience,
True,
right?
it is. Yes.
Now, honestly, and say this, don't worry, because they know I love them. What do you think?
It is delicious.
Yeah, it's pretty good, right?
I really have never had it.
Yeah, and you picked a great one. That was these are the two favorites of the three new ones. They're all good in my opinion, but I really like the cherry limeade and the squeezed to death.
It's delicious.
Yeah, you got a lot of orange flavor in there. I even have a juicy crunch tangerine on my desk that I forgot to put away before we hit record. It's there now. It's living with us.
There we go.
Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, my absolute pleasure. So we're talking free throws for kids. Why don't you brought notes, and like I was saying after the air, and everyone watching knows I love it when a guest brings notes. So talk to me. What are we talking about today? Why are you in my studio?
First of all, anyone that knows me won't be surprised.
Right.
I got to make sure I'm giving good content and don't forget anything. So
Sure, I appreciate it.
Yeah, free throws for kids is coming up. It's something that is close to my heart, and thankfully has gotten a lot of other people loving it as well. So that's kind of been a cool thing. We started it back in 2014, so it's been a heck of a ride. Our first year, our goal was to have 10 teams and raise $10,000, and I don't remember how many teams we had, but we raised $40,000.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I think maybe like 20 teams. So right out of the chute, the community embraced it, the mission. And since then, it's just been every year it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just been amazing. So
yeah, it sounds awesome.
Yeah. So it's called Free Throws for Kids. How it happened, because I know a lot of people always wonder, how did this happen? You must have had a sick child, or thank God I have not. We have 2 healthy children, but in college, we did tours of the Children's Hospital, and my heart got really connected to what the families went through. And I just was like, man, my heart is broken for what these families go through. Like, I got to do something. So long story short, I started a bike ride in college with my fraternity, and I kind of got the philanthropy itch. Fast forward, moved back to Cincinnati after going to Bowling Green, BG, and hopefully there's some other fellow Falcons out there.
Yeah.
And wanted to do something in our community. 5Ks are great, but I wanted to do something different. Yeah. So I love basketball a lot, even though I'm short. I played some basketball in high school. I can shoot pretty good with the best of them, and got the idea that, hey, anybody can shoot a free throw, right? Even anybody, whether you like it or not, you can shoot a free throw.
Oh, absolutely.
So we combine my passion with basketball into the idea of really how can we help these families. At that same time, we blessed a family who we knew with what we called a care package, and things kind of came together that, hey, we're going to shoot free throws and do a lot of care packages and then go bless families at the hospital.
Amazing. So, and I should ask this maybe as far as like, are you giving to a specific, is it for obviously those in need in the hospital, but is there like a certain medical ailment, or are you just looking kind of a widespread?
I'm really glad you asked that. That's one of the coolest things. Nobody signs up for these packages. So our whole thing is just to bless any family that's going through a really challenging time at the hospital. So we have connections at the hospital.
Okay.
We basically deliver 1,000 a year. We usually do about 250 a quarter, essentially.
Okay.
And so we'll deliver. It's more like 170 at a time because they can't really handle more than that at a time. So we take 1,000 throughout the whole year, and we deliver them, and then they disperse them throughout the different patients and families throughout the hospital, whoever's there at that time. So there's some amazing organizations that their focus is helping kids that are going through cancer and things like that, which are amazing. Yeah. What we do is we also make sure that families that are going through some of the unique, maybe not as known diseases also get some love.
Yeah.
So we also help a lot of kids that have cancer, but we want to make sure that everybody's getting some love that are going through some challenging times. So each of these care packages are valued at $125. And we do 1,000 of those. In them are gift cards for the cafeteria. So it has a $50 cafeteria gift card.
Awesome.
Money for La Rosa's.
Yeah.
La Rosa's is one of our great sponsors. White Castles is our champion sponsor, so we work with them as well. And then we also do a Speedway fuel card in there. A lot of these families have to travel back and forth to the hospital.
Sure.
So that helps. And then we have some fun stuff for the families. We have a stuffed animal and book. We have some water bottles to make sure that they drink a certain amount of water each day.
Brilliant.
Journal to take notes for all the doctor notes, etc.
You really, those last couple notes in particular are really, really smartly thought of. Like things that you wouldn't immediately come in a care package like that, but are absolutely necessary.
So we've built this package over the years. We try to be very strategic. We actually get with nurses and hospital staff to go, hey, if we're going to do this, like, how can we best bless these families?
Sure.
And we created this list of, I know I'm missing a couple of those things, but we have 10 or so items in that package, and the families just absolutely love it.
That's amazing.
So that's just one of the 3 things we do.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. Continue. What else are we working on? I'm like,
I was hoping you would
I'm sitting
ask.
here going, I'm like, I'm flipping through the. I almost called it a brochure, but
it is a brochure.
It is, right? Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's such a connotation of sales happening there. I was like, that's not the point of this, though. But no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in.
No,
there.
you're good.
I'm excited about this.
So
now.
the other thing we did, we actually created a Free Throws for Kids salad bar at the Ronald McDonald House. So every day, 177 families now have a healthier eating choice and option for the. You're there and you think it's a good idea to have lasagna every day, and that sounds great until you're in that situation. So the families actually like the healthier option. Yeah. That thing's really taken off. So we donate $3,000 every month to pay for the food for that salad bar every single month.
That's amazing.
And then the last thing we do is we grant $10,000 to the Liberty Children's Hospital up off 129.
Yeah.
We give them $10,000 every year, and we go to the caseworkers and we go, help some families that are going through some immediate needs that maybe insurance and things don't cover. So one of the stories was a mother who was really struggling filling out the application. They weren't sure if maybe she was having issues with reading or whatever. Come to find out she didn't have good eyesight and didn't have money for glasses. We were able to use money from that fund for her to go see an optometrist, get eyeglasses, and things like that. There was a family, the parents had to actually stop working. They really came down on hard times, and they really they were going to lose their utilities. So we were able to pay, I think it was a $300 utility bill just this past December, and keep their lights on for the holidays.
That's amazing. That
sounds like a made up story, but it's real.
You never know how real these stories are but the thing is, they are constantly real.
Yeah.
They're very widespread, and it's not like people are outwardly expressing these things when they go through hard times.
Yeah.
Most of us kind of shut down and bring it in. We're like, okay, how do I fix this?
Yeah. Family needed a car seat. They needed a special harness, like a $400 car seat. Insurance didn't cover it. Family is going through, again, tough times. They were able to take money from our fund and immediately go get them one instead of waiting for an application.
Sure.
So it's just been really cool to see how we've been able to bless these families.
That's really cool too, because just seeing that there are a lot of hoops that you have to jump through usually to get some sort of help, which is, I kind of understand it to a certain extent. It's like you need some of these systems in place, but excuse me, that's the curse of the liquid death, unfortunately. The little bit of carbonation.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, no, it is though. That gets caught up. But no, it is really nice that you're providing this service. I get really excited whenever I see people doing kind things for not no reason, but you know what I mean.
Kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean though? Like
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I see a problem. I think I can help fix it.
So that's kind of the
really
mission.
noble of you. I think
Just-
it's really cool.
Just showing hope and God's love in a practical way to
Yeah.
families at the hospital and the Ronald McDonald House.
That's really cool.
Period.
So walk me through getting involved then. Like,
Yeah.
because we're
That's
pretty
why I'm
close.
here.
Right. I was going to say, because like we're getting close to the actual event itself.
are.
When's the event itself?
So the event is April 6th.
Okay.
It's at Lakota West High School.
Okay.
We actually purchased and store and bring to the event 28 portable hoops. Wow. We set those hoops up. So you'll walk in and you see 28 hoops set up between the two different areas. And at that event, say you have a team.
Yeah.
Your team would shoot 500 free throws. So you would shoot 10 free throws, and then your buddy would shoot 10 free throws, and you keep rotating.
Sure.
While this is playing, we have music playing. You have live scoring, so you're actually keeping track of all of how bad your friends are at shooting. And guess what? It doesn't matter.
I love it.
Granny shots encouraged. We've had teams that have made maybe like 50 shots.
Yeah.
No one cares. So this is not about how good you are. If you want it to be, it's competitive.
Sure.
There's live scoring, but trust me, none of these families care how many free throws we make.
Right. It's a fun way to show some support. Yeah,
For sure,
I love
for
it.
sure. We have a best shooter contest. We have we have a little side thing going on where it's called a $20 hoop contest. You pay $20, you get 10 free throws. For every shot you make, you get a raffle ticket, and then we give out over $2,000 worth of prizes.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it's a fun event.
Yeah, absolutely.
We like to make sure that people's hearts get connected to the event, so we show a video at the beginning with some of these families talking about how some of the things we're doing have been helpful to their family. So.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, we're big on making sure the heart's connected.
I love that. As far as like setting up teams, because the deadline I was thinking of is the 31st of this month,
Yeah,
right? So that's like
so
captain
January 31st. That's
Okay.
the deadline.
So let's start there. So what are we looking at? We
Very
need
simple.
Team captains.
Yep. You go to ftfk.org, short for freethrowsforkids.org. You'll see a huge red sign up. You put in some information. You can have a fun team name.
Yeah.
You then recruit 3 to 9 of your friends.
Okay.
And between those 3 to 9 friends, the goal is to raise $1,250.
Okay.
That seems like a lot of money until people realize what this event's all about.
Right.
So basically, you get 10 total people. Each person raises $125.
Yeah, that's
Here's
super
the
cool.
best part.
Right.
We provide all the marketing material.
Awesome.
We are even old school where we still make envelopes that you can hand out and send out to people.
I love that.
We obviously have websites that are all taken care of, and we make it as simple as possible.
But there is still a little fun in like having a tactile.
There
thing.
is.
I mean, look, I love a brochure. I've been touching it the entire time.
Absolutely. So yeah, we would love and urge the community to. It can be a school team. It can be just friends. We have a lot of corporations, so it could be like you work at a place. Just make a team for your corporation.
Yeah.
A lot of times the corporation will then get behind it, and we encourage people, don't get stressed about the $1,250. Sometimes maybe that first year you only raise $300 or $400 or $500.
Yeah.
You're still welcome. We're going to have you still join.
Absolutely.
And then that second year after you know what it's all about, that's when teams really raise a lot of money.
And that makes sense. I mean, look, I think about this all the time. Even an incremental move in the right direction
sure.
is still a move in the right direction.
Absolutely.
It's simply put, but
Absolutely.
that's crazy.
So to date, we've raised over $1 million.
I just saw that on the back. I was like, wow, like almost a 1.2 million. That's amazing.
It's been pretty cool. So yeah, $1,198,000.
Wow.
Last year we raised $163,000. So our goal for this year is $175,000.
Let's make it 200.
So we got to step it up.
Let's go. Exactly.
I mean, it depends how many people get behind it. So
Yeah, cool. Well, hopefully this helps a little bit too. So
we need and want more teams.
yeah, of course. Yeah, anything to grow. This is a great cause too. I love this so much, and it sounds like one of the more fun charitable events I've heard about. Honestly,
It's very unique.
Yeah.
When people come and they see it, again, it's just they've never been to something like it.
well, you said it pretty well early on. You're like, yeah, we've done 5Ks, we've done those things. That's fine.
5Ks are amazing.
And they really are. They're great. But
Until I'm faster or you're slow or you're slow and I'm fast. And
once I realized how long 5K is, I was like, okay, you know what? I'd like to do 100 free throws.
when you don't
know?
get to hang out with your friends while you're doing it.
That's a great
So
point, too.
You're right there at one hoop and
Yeah.
you can hang out and talk. And we have free food there. We have La Rosa's, White
awesome.
Castle sliders.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Hey,
all
that's always a good
free.
one. That's amazing.
They all donate it.
Yeah.
it's a really, really fun event.
That's amazing. What a cool time. I'm so glad we got to meet this, Mark. And I guess I got to give a quick shout out to our mutual friend, Tyler.
100%, man.
The Happy Human Adventurers. You've heard about them on the show before, but this is another chance to go support Tyler. He's been really great. I might have to pull that clip of him.
You should. He actually made a song, No Dunks Allowed, Free Throws for Kids. It's pretty catchy.
I love it.
And he's had a virtual team the last few years in Florida.
Oh, I love that.
So that's one thing to state. You don't even have to be right here in Cincinnati or say you just don't want to shoot. I'm not shooting. Okay, fine. You could still have a virtual team.
Yeah, why not?
I actually created a community team. So say someone out there is listening and going, hey, I'm not a leader type person, but this sounds really cool. I just want to show up and shoot. There's a community team when you go on the website that you could join as just an individual shooter if you don't want to have a team. And the best part is with all this, everybody on our board, there's 9 of us and a lot of volunteers. Not one person collects a penny. So nobody has a salary. All the money that we raise goes straight to the cause.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The way it should be.
The way it should be, but that's not always the case.
It's tough. Too. Yeah, no, I'm sure.
It's tough.
And you know, there's a lot of factors I can go into too. But again, very noble of you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. You know, if you want to make a donation, you know, honestly, we'd rather have you be a participant because, again, it's fun. We want you to come see what it's like. But if you're just not interested or maybe you're busy on April 6th, you know, we could always, you know, we would love a donation. You know, we can use your money. And again, obviously, it can be tax written off. It's a great cause. Again, all of the money goes directly to the cause, and the more money we raise, the more families we can bless.
That's amazing. 10 years strong too. That's so
10
cool.
years, yeah. If it wasn't for COVID, we were.
We would hit. There's always that one.
Yep, always that one. So this is our 9th annual event. This would be 11 without COVID, but I think that says something about the people behind our event.
Yeah.
Sponsors, supporters, donors, our board, the participants. You know, during those 2 years that we basically didn't have an event, we kind of picked up where we left off, and some events have gone away.
Yeah.
And we're still here, and hopefully we'll be here for a long time.
I think so. I think this is a great cause. Yeah. Obviously, you're making, making a positive impact on the community too. I mean, I hope you're still here. If you're not next year, Mark, I'm going to be very upset. But obviously, you know, again, I know we just met, and I promised this off air, but you can hold me accountable now.
Okay.
But like, hopefully next year, now that we know each other, we can get a little more ahead of it and help push it a little harder. Yeah, I'd love to.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and maybe there's some action too in the future around April, because if I'm here for that, I'll try and come be a part of this as well.
Nice.
So, yeah.
It's awesome.
It's been a pleasure. And look, I think, again, I normally wouldn't have another Mark on the show, but I'll make an exception for you.
And I have notes.
I know you did everything right
and
today.
Liquid Death.
You liked the Liquid Death. I think everybody's going home happy today. One more time on the website, it was ftfk.org,
yes,
right?
Sir.
And people can sign up there.
Yep.
Any other tips or anywhere else you want to send
you
in the
just
meantime?
go check it out. Or if you just want to come to the event. We have people that just come to the event. They just want to see it. Just show up. I promise it'll be like something you've never seen before.
I can't wait. April 6th, Lakota West High School. We're at the main gym.
8:30 a.m. is the first session.
Ooh, so an early one. That'll be fun.
8:30 to 10:30, and then 11 to 1.
Perfect.
So 2 sessions.
I do my best free throw shooting at about 8 in the morning anyway, so this works out great for me.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mark, best of luck to you. I hope you get a lot of captains in here, and thanks for coming out and doing this, too. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
Touch back base with me right before the event, and we'll do a little recap.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
To it. Sound
cool.
good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, got that out. What another great week's episode. Well, hey, like I said earlier in the show, stay tuned to all these events. We got more events coming up at Jungle Gyms. We've got Pickle Wars coming up. Oh my gosh, how can we not mention that? Pickle Wars. Literal pickles will be sent into battle to defend your vinegar-related honor. It's going to be great. We've got a prize belt. Actually, hey, Luck, can you throw me the prize belt? We've got a prize belt that we had made for this. There's going to be eating contests. You're going to try, I believe right now we have either 11 or 12 different pickle vendors. Check this out. Look at like a legit, I don't even know if it shows up well in there, but it looks great here. I mean, it's got the Jungle Gyms logo. It's got all kinds of original artwork designed by the creative team up here. Shout out to Aaron, Matt, Zach, Ricky, Mike, everybody. I already said Lucky's name since he's in the room, and the rest of them for making cool stuff like this. But you have a chance to win one of these, for real. And I'm pretty sure the contests are just things like eat the most pickles or eat the least amount of pickles. That's the one I'm going to win. All right, everyone. On that note, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in as always. And in the meantime, I'll see you out there in the aisles.
The
The Jungle Gyms podcast is recorded in the WJJI studio inside Jungle Gyms International Market in Fairfield, Ohio. The Jungle Gyms podcast is produced and hosted by Mark Borison.